What's up, Dodgers Nation? On a fresh edition of the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast, we're going to rank the top 5 Dodger relievers right now after a disappointing weekend full of bullpen games for the Dodgers, and we'll do a quick preview of the upcoming 3-game set against the Atlanta Braves. Welcome back to the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. My name is Eric Yulee, your host for this 5-minute Dodgers Nation production. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. That is at EEULAU. I'm recording this Sunday evening where the Dodgers have already put the finishing touches on an absolute stinker of a weekend, losing 2 of 3 games to the Colorado Rockies, missing an opportunity to pick up some ground on the Giants, who also lost 2 of 3 against the Braves. And although it was 3 bullpen games essentially for the Dodgers, they had to patch together all those innings for coverage. It wasn't really the relievers or the arms that got the Dodgers in trouble. It was the offense, which is supposed to be really, really good, and I think it is really, really good, but just had an absolute crap weekend. The Rockies, the 6th highest away ERA as a team. The Rockies have only won 17 games as a team for the whole year. And the Dodgers coughed up 2 this weekend. Look, the Dodgers hit 177 as a team. They hit 105 with runners in scoring position. They got 2 hit by Senzatella to start the Sunday game. They just never got it going offensively. And Friday night's loss, I think, Sunday was worse, but Friday was a little concerning when you see 12 strikeouts for the Dodger hitters and 0 walks. It does not happen a whole lot when you see 0 walks. It's hard to string together some wins and to lengthen the lineup when you're walking 0 guys. But look, a lot of opportunities to look at the Dodger relievers, especially in the second half, as they've had to cover all those innings, being shorthanded in the rotation. No Kershaw, no Gonsolin. Look, the relievers, I think, have been pretty good. And if you look for the month of August, look, the Dodgers were first in innings pitched as relievers. That's not a surprise. But third in ERA at 2.87. That's pretty damn good. WHIP at 3.8%, also third in the league. Left on base percentage, pretty important. How often do you leave runners on base that are inherited? 76.7, also top 10 at 7th. And then finally, the fielded independent pitching, 3.71 7th, which tells you they're getting a little bit lucky, but this group is legit. So let's take a look. The top 5 Dodger relievers right now, in my opinion. We'll start at number 5, Corey Knebel. Look, didn't have a good night in San Diego when he gave that 2-run bomb to Tatis. Hasn't looked the best over the last week or 2, but I still think he has all the potential to get back to where he was with the Brewers. He's only pitched in 17 games this season, so there's still a lot of meat on the bone for him to get better and to keep improving. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be a key guy in October. That brings us to my number 4 guy. And yell at me, scream at me all you want, but Kenley Jansen. Still with a sub-3 ERA, hasn't blown a save since that Giants series. I know it's not all about blown saves. Some of it is, the hitters and they're allowing hitters to get on and the walks. But if you look at for August, his lowest walk rate for any month this year at 8%. That's pretty good. And his K rate, the highest of any month this year at 34%. So some of the metrics would tell you that Kenley Jansen had maybe his best month in the month of August. And I think Kenley will still get some opportunities to close some key games. I think as October, like we talked about, it's going to be mix and match. And that brings us to our number 3 guy, who's all of a sudden turned into a high leverage lefty, a guy that I have doubted a lot, and I will own up to that. But Alex Vesia brings a lot of emotion, brings that fire, which you love to see. But look, he attacks hitters. He has the highest K rate among qualified relievers for the Dodgers for the month of August, which is anyone who pitched more than 7 1/3. And you gotta love the back-to-back innings with Alex Vesia. So I will call myself out for doubting him. He's looked great. He looks like a guy, and right now with Victor Gonzalez doing who knows what, Vesia is kind of the lefty they can count on right now in those high leverage spots. That brings us to number 2, Phil Bickford. And I got to admit something here. ESPN says he's from Newbury Park. Baseball Reference says he's from Ventura. I've been stating he's from Ventura as a proud Venturan. So I don't know. Maybe I should tweet him. I doubt he'd respond because, he doesn't really care who the hell I am. But anyway, I just want to admit that not all the facts have been brought to light there with Phil Bickford. But on the actual baseball stuff, only 2 earned runs in August, a .77 whip, 93% of runners left on base, and the second best strikeouts per 9 inning of any Dodgers reliever. And that brings us to the workhorse, the tried and true, Blake Treinen, 92.1% left on base for the month of August. And the reason I really like Blake Treinen, the reason I have him ranked number 1, is I think this guy can still get outs and do what he needs to do in his role, even if he doesn't have his best stuff. Whereas if you look at Jansen, Knebel and even Vesia to an extent, if they don't have their best stuff, I'm not sure they can get outs. But Treinen has enough. I think his potential, I like his pitches a lot more. He can still get those outs. And look, yes, the walk rate was a little high for August. He had the second highest walk rate besides Andre Jackson, but still a great pitcher. So that's who I have right now for my top 5 Dodger relievers. You're probably asking me, what about Gratterall? And I love the velocity. It's sexy. I think we get a little too enamored with the velocity, though. And I think he pitches to a lot of contact. And the strikeout rate, Mitch White has a higher strikeout rate than Gratterall. Another guy, if you want to talk about potential, it's all been there for Gratterall. It always has been. But he needs to miss some more bats. And I think the pitching at 101 miles an hour is freaking awesome. But, it also comes off the bat pretty fast, too. So he's got to start missing some more bats to build some confidence. Don't even need to talk about Joe Kelly. Not even a factor. Brule, need to see a little bit more from him. But those are my top 5 Dodger relievers right now. I have Corey Knebel at 5, Kenley Jansen at 4, Alex Vesia at 3, Phil Bickford at 2, and Blake Treinen holding the top spot right now for the 5 best Dodger relievers. The Dodgers host the Atlanta Braves for a 3-game set Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at Dodger Stadium. And to steal a quote from former Dodgers manager Don Mattingly, it's not just who you're playing, it's when you're playing them. The Braves coming to town will mark the first time the Dodgers will play a team trending in the right direction since the Dodgers played the Phillies in Philadelphia in early August when at the time the Phillies were 8-2. Since then, the Dodgers played the Mets, the Pirates, the Mets again, the Padres, and the Rockies. None of those teams impressing anybody for the month of August. The Braves are 4.5 clear of the next best team in the NL East. They just took 2 of 3 against the San Francisco Giants, the best team in baseball by record. This is a very good Braves team. The Dodgers have their work cut out for them. On Monday, you'll have Julio Urias versus Drew Smyly. Drew Smyly lefty with a 4.54 ERA, but we all know how the Dodgers struggle with left-handed pitching. Tuesday, you have Charlie Morton versus Cy Young hopeful Walker Buehler. And then Wednesday, you have the battle of the Maxes. Max Fried versus Max Scherzer. Fried, 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched in his first game against the Dodgers this year. And we all know what Scherzer can do. Going to be a great series. I am completely way over my time, but thank you so much for watching. Make sure to download the Dodgers Nation app on Google Play or the App Store. Subscribe, rate, review to our YouTube page, and check out the Blue Heaven podcast with Clinton Brook and Dodgers Dugout with Doug McCain. Thank you, and I will see you on the other side.